hey, and welcome to the MTG Noob. It's the Chad, and the So You Think You Can Cast contest has officially started and is underway as we speak. We're bringing you tonight an M13 Swiss draft. Hopefully get some sweet pulls, have a couple of good matches, put together a good deck for you guys. We want to put on a good show for you. So it looks like in pack 1, we got a pretty sweet rare knot, but we did pull a couple of good black cards, likely to maybe wheel a couple of them. It is going to put the buddy to the left of us probably in black with the Knight of Infamy, although yeah, there's really not much else that's super solid in this deck. Angelic Benediction is always good. Show of Valor is a nice trick, and Transfer, I mean, nah, probably not first pickable. But obviously we're going to go ahead and take the Nighthawk here. It's just a solid card, and we don't mind being in black at all. So that's going to be our first pick, and we'll see what we can follow it up with. Alright, so we've got Essence Drain here, which is quality. Also foily Giant Scorpion. The Giant Scorpions are so good. They can just lock down a board forever. Also Primal Clay, which honestly I haven't played a whole lot of. We got another Show of Valor. I mean, nothing really in here that wants to really take us away from black. Again, we'll be passing a good black card no matter which one of these two we take, whether we take the Essence Drain or the Scorpion. I'm thinking, I don't know, they're both solid cards. I'm thinking that we're going to go ahead and probably take the Essence Drain here. Don't mind that, it's my phone. Maybe the Giant Scorpion. Quick, somebody make up my mind. We'll take the Essence Drain. Removal is always good. Alright, pack 3. Awesome. Looks like now might be a good time to get into our second color. Obviously we could stay kind of with our black thing here with Chronomaton. It turns into a pretty sweet clock. Mind Rot, I think that there's more powerful cards here. We could go blue-black and get into some control with the Unsummon. Flames of the Firebrand, though, is just so good. It's really hard to pass that up. Also, Turn to Slag is solid. But I think Flames of the Firebrand is going to be fine here. Keep in mind that we've taken 2 removal cards in our first 3 picks. Alright, so not a whole lot of black is coming our way at this point. We do have Crippling Blight, which is fine. We do have a Night of Glory, which is very, very late. Also, Deadly Recluse is super good. Here, I'm thinking we're going to take... Maybe we'll just take the Blade Tusk Boar and kind of force black-red a little bit. See what we get in the next pack. It's possible that green has just been super strong. Green and white has just been strong in this pack. We're going to take the Blade Tusk Boar here and hope for some more black to come our way. Okay, so we got Mog Flunkies. We're not really a Mog Flunky deck at this point, but it's still early. Ravenous Rats is... I like it. I think it's a good card. I don't know where everybody else values it, but for me, it's definitely playable. Also, we have the Red Ring. Red Ring, does that... Yeah, okay. Throwback to terrible Xbox days, Xbox 360. Anybody? We're going to take the Ravenous Rats here. It's in our colors. We're happy with it. Here's a Goblin Arsonist, so we're happy we passed that one. We may be looking at getting into 3 colors here, so the Evolving Wilds actually might start to creep up a little bit in our, in our priorities. And they don't really tend to float around as much as you would think that they do, at least not as far as what I've been able to tell, but I think that we're going to pick up the Goblin Arsonist. Okay, Yev's Force Mage is pretty good. Also a couple of good blue cards in here. Attendant Knight is still in this pack, which makes me think that white may be a little bit more open than we're thinking. The Reckless Brute here is just so aggro, which is we're kind of headed that way here with the Blade Tusk Boar. But we may just pick up the Fat Knight, or the Fat Elemental here. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We'll take the Fire Elemental. Okay, so we do see another Mog Flunkies and another red ring. The ring here on the Blade Tusk Boar could just take over a game. Also, we have a couple of nice early drops to be swinging in with our Mog Flunkies. But I think that I am going to take the Ring of Valkis. Haste can become relevant here with a 4-drop as well. So we're going to go ahead and take the ring here. Alright, Wild Guess actually is not bad. Card advantage in red is a good thing. We're not going to play the Trumpet Blast. The Smelt might be a good sideboard card. Show of Valor is a good trick against us. And I'm not sure if we main deck Wild Guess at this point. So I think we'll just cut the Show of Valor here. There's another one. Awesome. But we do have a semi-playable enchantment and Volcanic Strength at this point. We would side that in against anybody playing red, which it kind of feels to me like there's a few others of us that are certainly in red. Some late white cards. We'll just stay on color here. Nothing that we're too scared of. Sure, same thing. Nothing that's terribly terrifying, so we'll take the Blood Throne Vampire and hope that we don't have to play it. Awesome. Alrighty, 6 creatures at this point. A couple of strong removal cards. I think we're going to hide green, because I don't reckon we're going to be, unless something crazy happens. High land. Alright, awesome. Another dual land here for our rare. So we do have a Fairy Invaders, which I really like. It's the closest thing to like a Restoration Angel that we get in this set. We also have a Rise from the Grave, which will probably be our pick. There's actually not a whole lot of black in here, so that's good news. Same with red. So maybe we can put somebody drafting to our right off of black. I mean, we're really not going to need this land. It might even wheel for us. Yeah, it is in our colors, but I don't think we're going to have any mana fixing issues. So I think that this Rise from the Grave is going to be the play. Maybe get back, it's good with our removal. Get back some of our opponent's fatties. Alright, some good red in here. This Volcanic Geyser is so good. It just wins stalled out games. So there is a sleep, which is something to keep in mind of. There's some really actually very good blue here. 4 quality blue cards in this pack. Obviously we've got the Searing Spear, which is also good. But I think that the Volcanic Geyser is just impossible to pass up. I would have been happy to first pick that, let alone second pick. So we're going to go ahead and take that, add it to our repertoire of Good stuff. Okay, so this is the first Welkin turn Arctic Aven that I've seen, probably because they just get picked up so early. Arctic Aven can just take over. The Primal Hunt Beast will be a problem for us, but we have another good removal spell and a Krankos Command. I actually think that Krankos Command is going to be the card for us, just because it's pretty aggro and we're not hurting for removal. And this essentially counts as a 2-drop creature card. So here, we're not seeing a whole lot of black come our way at all, which is a little bit disheartening, but we kind of expected it coming from our left because we did pass some good black cards. Wall of Fire might be the pick here. I mean, it's not great. Another wild guess. Did we take the first one? No, it doesn't look like we did. This really isn't the deck that we are, a Wall of Fire deck. However, it might stall the board out long enough to get us a big old Volcanic Geyser, so we might just take that. Creature count is a little bit low at this point. Yeah, some good white cards in here. Good Exalted white cards. We might go Mog Flunkies here. We haven't picked one up yet. So, Mog Flunkies is actually a good card. We do have a 1-drop and some nice 2-drops to go with it. We are, though, at the same time looking to kind of lengthen our curve a little bit. The other problem, too, is these white cards. I'm almost tempted to gobble one of them up, but at this point, we're almost too far into it to make a transition. So I think we're going to take the Minotaur and hope that we can see another Mog Flunkies a little later on. Chandra's Fury is good. Another Goblin Arsonist. Safe Passage has just straight up beat me a few times. It's definitely a card worth noting and a card to play around if your opponent's in white, because yeah, it can just be bad. Mark of Mutiny, kind of meh. I'm thinking that the Chandra's Fury is going to be the card here, because it does handle like the Welkin turns. There's a lot of 1-toughness flyers that we're going to have an issue with. So, I'm thinking Chandra's Fury is going to be good here. There's another Canyon Minotaur. A Liliana Shade. We're almost, like, at this point, we're almost red splash black. So, I'm not sure Liliana Shade is quite the card for us. Zombie Glass, fine. But I think we're going to take another Minotaur. It's just a 3/3 bear for 4. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not awful. Alright, so here, like I said, we are almost mono red. So I think that actually this Furnace Whelp may be quality card for us. Oh, shoot. Hopefully we're going to get the quality up in this video so that you guys can read the text fine without having the card thing up. I did notice that that quality was pretty awful on the intro video that was posted for critique. So we're going to make some adjustments to our exporting style and get that corrected for you. Let me know if it's better down in the comments. Also, I hope you guys notice I'm not whispering, speaking with confidence and boldness, because we know what we're doing. We're good Magic players. So, some more good tempo-y blue in here, and this Angelic Benediction is pretty late. I think we're going to take the Rummaging Goblin. Nice. So some decent white in here, or some decent red, rather. Another Fire Elemental's fine. I mean, we do have yeah, the curve's looking pretty good. The Dragon Hatchling might actually turn into a beating. So I think we're going to take that. It seems like red is pretty well open. And we'll take another Blood Throne Vampire. I'm not sure if we're going to play those. So here's a pick. Another red ring. Or the Wild Guess. I really don't think that the 2 red's going to be a problem, and I think that we're going to want some card advantage. Bile Rebirth's fun. Yes, and we're happy to see that Safe Passage didn't get picked up by anybody. So I think white is pretty wide open. Let's see. We just cut the Show of Valor is all that we have out of white in the Safe Passage that we got last pick. So, alright, here's a Phylactery Lich. Yeah, we don't have any artifacts, so that's going to be a little difficult for us. There's a Mog Flunkies in here that we're hoping to wheel not a whole lot of white, which is good. We do have already some fairly high-costed removal spells, and the Servant of Nephrox is very good. Very, very good. So I think that's going to be the first pick out of this pack. Again, passing some good white, so... But it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of white drafters. I don't know. Or I overvalue Safe Passage, one or the other. But that'll be the pick in this pack. Alright, so here we've got a Dark Favor in black, which is good. We've also got a Reckless Brute here and a Mog Flunkies. Between these 2 cards, I think that Reckless Brute is probably our pick. Let's have a look. We're going to try not to play the Blood Throne Vampires. You know, actually our 2-drops are fairly weak at the moment. Very weak, as a matter of fact. So I think that Dark Favor is just so good, though. If we can Dark Favor Blade Tusk Boar, or even like our Dragon Hatchling. Yeah, that might be pretty good. There has been a lot of bounce floating around, which makes me nervous. Maybe we can wheel the Flunkies. We'll snag the Dark Favor. It's fine. Here's another Servant. Fairly late, and we're not sad about that at all. Other cards to take note of: this Angelic Benediction. We last picked it pack 1, so I don't know what's going on. It's a pretty good card. Unsummons are floating around like crazy. We'll take another Servant. Sure. Out of here, Crippling Blight's pretty good. We do have 13 creatures. And a couple of like Blood Throne Vampires that we have hidden right now. We already have a Rummaging Goblin. We don't really want to be stacked up on those guys because they're really not that great. The Goblin Battle Jester's fine. But I think we're going to go ahead and go with the early removal here. Like I said, we do have a lot of late game removal for big fatties. But, you know, for pesky, like, knights and stuff, the Crippling Blight will be good. Alright, here's a pretty late Primal Clay. Another Blade Tusk Boar, and another Ravenous Rats. Like I said, our 2-drops are really Kranko's Command, our Dragon Hatchling, and our Ravenous Rats. We do have some quality 3-drops, and we really just need to get there. So here I think we're going to take the Primal Clay. That'll help solidify the air a little bit if we need it. So yeah, we'll do that. So our choices here for us, another Encrust and another Essence Scatter. Our choices here, though, are going to be either between the Dragon Hatchling or the Fire Elemental. We already have one of each. I'm leaning towards the hatchling, to be honest. But the fire elemental is probably the pick, to be honest. The 5/4 is just hard to deal with. So, yeah, we're going to take the fire elemental. Let me know what you guys think about that one. That could have probably gone either way. Here's pretty obvious. We're just going to snag the Goblin Arsonist. Haven't seen a whole lot of Mind Sculpts going around, which is good, because getting milled sucks out of nowhere. Not fun. But the Goblin Arsonists are definitely playable. This Mindclaw Shaman, not that good. Only in very specific circumstances. And it might be worth a sideboard at least. But this switcheroo is almost worth splashing, to be honest. Yeah. I almost just want to cut it. But the Mindclaw Shaman is good against burn. We'll take the switcheroo here. We're going to cut that out. Just because, yeah. It's never fun. I guess we're just going to stay on color here. Nothing that concerns us too much. Red-green, I honestly haven't seen a whole lot of red-green decks. I haven't played against a whole lot of them. But this Flinthoof board could just be, you know, 3/3 for 2 is never bad. But we're going to stay on color here. Yeah, sure, we're happy to see a late Reckless Brute. That's fine. Might even make it into our deck. And another one. Man, that's some pretty crazy aggro. Sure. Between these two cards, I think we're going to take the Battle Jester. Don't know if we play it or not, and the Smelt is great for the sideboard. Sure. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, well, it looks like we are going to be solidly red with a little bit of black for our Servants and our Nighthawk. It's a little bit annoying, because we do have double black here, which is definitely going to be something we're going to have to take into consideration as we're dealing out our land ratios. Double white here in Wild Guess, but that's kind of fine. You never necessarily need to cast Wild Guess on turn 2 anyways. I don't really think that anything is worth a splash. Switcheroo is almost worth it because it's on turn 5, but I think mana-wise we're just going to want to get as much red in here as we can get away with. Vile Rebirth is kind of meh. Like I said, we're not trying to play the Bloodthrone Vampires. Definitely the Servants and the Vampire. Essence Drain and the Rise from the Grave is fine. So we have 9 Swamp Mana symbols. We'll definitely be bringing the Arsonist. Kindle Fury is a definitely not. Smelt we'll keep in mind for the sideboard. Dragon Hatchling, I thought we got a couple of them. Maybe we did only pick up one. I think that's going to be a good card for us this time around. Volcanic Strength. We'll see about that. We'll play probably one of the Brutes, depending on how we're looking. We might actually bring in both of them. Battle Jester. And awesome. Okay, so we're 2 cards too many. The curve actually looks pretty sexy to me. Let's bring down the non-creature cards. We're going to count that one. The Krankos Command. Oops. Yeah, so we do have some good removal in here. This is actually a nice balance. I like to see the 16 creatures. plus obviously the Krankos command, they don't count. That actually looks really good. So I think we probably maybe want to cut one of our high drops just because we are getting pretty aggro. Although we do like to get a huge volcanic geyser for the win, is never a bad thing. But I think we're going to go ahead and cut the wall of fire. I don't know if it's really what we're after as far as deck type. And we may also cut an arsonist. Although, like I said, they do deal well with, you can even block a 2-drop with, or a 2 toughness CI with it, and they wind up trading, so it's not bad. Let's see here, you guys. You're gonna have to post a comment and let me know what we've got going on. What would you guys cut out of this? I'm leaning actually towards a fire elemental or one of the goblin arsonists. I think that I'm actually gonna cut the fire elemental. So let's go ahead and make sure that we're not leaving anything important out. The Vial of Rebirth is fun because it's kind of a cool little trick that you can play. Exile target creature and block with a 2/2 in the middle of combat. But we have so much removal as it is. I think we're going to be fine as far as that goes. Anything in here that we're going to die for? The Wild Guess. I would like to have that in there, but, you can't always get what you want, I guess, right? Sure, that looks pretty good. Let's see what the suggestor suggests. That's actually not bad. I'm not super unhappy with that. We might go up 1 and down 1. I actually kind of like 7 and 10 though. Should be able to fairly consistently have the option of 2 swamps on turn 3, but also have some mana up to be able to pump up the Furnace Whelp. So, I think we're going to go ahead and say thank you for doing some math for us by converted mana cost, and I think that this is going to be our deck, guys. Let me know what you think. If we made any poor drafting decisions, I think that we could have gotten ballsy there and maybe gotten away with stealing some good white cards like halfway through pack 2. But, we definitely have a strong deck here, I think. So, real quick, housekeeping stuff. So you think you can cast contest? It counts. So, vote for the Chad on the mtgnoob.com on the forums. I appreciate your guys' feedback from the critique. I will let you know that I did not know that was going to get posted for you guys. I thought that was a submission to the MTG Noob guys, and they were going to look at them, and anyways, excuses, whatever, but I had no clue. So, as such, I'm going to step my game up this time, make sure that we don't make any silly misplays in the next few rounds. We're going to take some games down, take some packs, hopefully win this thing. I know it's just a Swiss, but hey, winning packs is good. Also, if you vote, you're entered to win a three free booster packs. So what the heck, man? Just jump on over to the forums, pick somebody, pick me, because hey, I'm cool, and do it that way. There's just some great guys though that are like, honestly, I don't think that any of us are here for the prizes. We're all here just to put up some cool content, to do what we love. We're here for the community. So, vote for whoever, really. I really don't care. Milo does some great stuff. Mr. Labufu, the other guys out there, they just do some awesome stuff. Do keep in mind while you're voting that this contest was intended to bring people into this type of format. I better submit here before I forget. So it was designed to bring new people into the community, and although Mr. Labufu and Milo are great guys, they have already been involved in this. They've been doing these drafts online. They've been posting videos for you guys for a long time. And it looks like round 1 is starting right now. So vote for the Chad. Check everything out, man, on Twitter and everything. The Twitch TV and all of that jazz. It's all good. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this video off, and we'll see you guys here in round 1. Thanks. Hey guys, welcome back. It's round 1. We got a bunch of mountains and a swamp. Turn 1. Play. I don't think we're going to mulligan this. We're going to hope for some gas. If we see that ring, I wouldn't be sad, but we're not going to mull. And slide this over. Bring this down for you guys. I did get my stops set kind of the way that I wanted. I just don't like clicking the button so much, so we'll play turn 1 Goblin Arsonist. Definitely get a, if we snag a 2-drop here on our next draw, that would not be terrible. But on turn 3 we'll definitely be dropping our Servant. Turn 4 Blade Test Borer. Seems like we're going to curve out pretty good. I'd like to see some removal. Turn back Wolf is fine. We're losing a race to that right now, so I don't think we're going to bash next turn. Yeah. Alright. Tell him to send us some gas. We're going to leave our guy back. Like I said, if he does swing in next turn, we can trade, which is a trade that we're happy to make. See, so what did I say? I said I've never seen anybody play green-red, herpa-derpa. Show enough. Alright, Reckless Brute's not awful. So I think the play here is actually going to be the Servant. We'll bash with the Arsonist. If he wants to trade, that's fine. He does have mana up, which makes me a little bit nervous. So he may have like a Lightning Bolt or something. As a matter of fact, that almost makes me want to play out the Reckless Brute first and just bash for 3. And then we could play the Servant next turn. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do here. See if he plays out a Lightning Bolt or whatever. If he just trades, that would be fine as well. Sure. Okay, we're fine with that. So we did miss out on a point of damage there by not swinging with our Arsonist as well. But if he just lets that through and swings back, yeah, we win a 3-2 race, but I don't think it's that good for us. We've got one of those guys. It's a good card against us. But we do have some removal in here for it, so happy to use up some removal on that. Alright, so the question is, do we play our own Blade Tusk Borer or the Servant? I think we're going to roll out the Servant this turn. Swing in for 2. So, at F&M last night, I picked up one of those Sublime Archangels in Pack 2. That card is ridiculous. That card will see play in Standard. Sublime Archangel is just, yeah. That card is ridiculous. If you're not aware what it is, I think it's a 2 white, 2 colorless, 3/4 or a 4/3 flyer that gives every single one of your creatures exalted. But what's really cool about it is on the bottom, it says that each exalted triggers individually. So for instance, if we played the Sublime Archangel, our Servant of Nephrox would actually have double exalted. So if you play multiple Sublime Archangels in a tokens deck or something, That's going to be a thing in Standard, for sure. Alright, so the Furnace Whelp is actually going to be pretty good for us. I think that what we do here, though, is we will go ahead and swing with our Servant. And I think we're going to play out the Furnace Whelp here. Leave up Tragic Slip mana. Sure. Alright, he's gonna... Wow. Seriously? No wonder the draft was so confusing. So he's probably playing that for... I don't know, Unsummon? Nicol Bolas? That would be bad. Alrighty, so we did pull an Essence Drain, which is super good. I think we're going to hold on to that. Honestly, we just win this race against the Blade Tusk Boar, so that's fine. We're going to go and see what he's got for us as we swing here. If he doesn't declare any blockers to this, if he doesn't declare any blockers to this, we may just pump the crap out of it. Sure. Okay, so I screwed that up, you guys. No, I didn't. Just kidding. So the question here is, do we leave up mana to play another dude out, or do we just go for the kill here? I think that actually the safe play is to leave up mana and go and play another guy out, because he's got all this untapped mana. If we just burn all of our mana and he plays a Thunderbolt or whatever, a Lightning, whatever that removal spell is, Searing Spear, yeah, we're just in trouble. So that's fine. We can play out our Minotaur. No reason not to. We've got a pretty big board presence at this point. Although I can't remember if this is... No, Nicol Bolas requires... Okay, Dustil Worm, that's fine. What are we going to do about that? I guess we just race him, huh? That's fine with us. We do have the Essence Drain here, so... we might just be able to kill him next turn. He has no way to kill us next turn unless he has something ridiculous like, I don't know, double Titanic Growth or something crazy. So I think we're gonna swing and just pump the crap out of this guy. Yep, I think that's the play, you guys. We're not quite gonna get him, but we are definitely within Essence Drain range. Alright, and he just scoops. So nice. The Furnace Whelp gets us there. Game 1. Not super sure. I mean, we mostly saw green and red. As a matter of fact, we didn't see any black or blue. So I'm thinking that he actually might be splashing for a Nicol Bolas. That really is the only reason why you would have all three of those on top of green. I don't really know. So here, Volcanic Strength actually becomes pretty good against his Mountain. I don't know what we would take out for that. We didn't really see any 1/1s or any 1 toughness guys, did we? His first play was that Timber Pack Wolf. So that might not be the best, but at times this can't block thing can certainly become relevant. If he only has 1 flyer or whatever, it's nice to be able to give it a, sorry buddy, can't block. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut one of these Goblin Arsonists for the Volcanic Strength. I'm going to submit this and go around game 2. Hopefully we have similar luck. Nice. We're not sad about this. Nice. Yep, this is a good hand. We're going to go ahead and hold on to this. We don't have any early plays, but a turn 3 Nighthawk is not bad. And since we're on the draw here, we might, pick up one of our 2 drops or whatever. Hold on to this. Time-wise, we're looking good. Volcanic Geyser. You're not super thrilled to see it in your hand this early, but hey. Yeah, we've got some good late game going on. Alright, so there's that flint hoof boar I was talking trash about earlier. And he's going to hit us in the noggin for maybe 3 if he plays out a mountain this turn. No mountain, so he's going to hit us for 2. I wonder if he did something drastic with his sideboard. Alright, we can get flooded too, that's cool. We're alright with that. Alright, no Essence Scatter, that's a good thing. What the heck's up with MTGO? Sometimes, I wind up getting somebody else's background, or they'll get my background. I guess it's fine. Alright, that's a pretty good draw right there. So we're going to play that out pre-combat. Sorry, I'm going to cough at you. Alright, apologies for that. And we'll bash here for 3 with lifelink. That'll turn a race around in a real quick hurry. This is not an awful pair of 3 drops right here. Yeah, he's gotta be. Yeah, he's gotta be splashing for Niggle Bolus. I'm gonna ask him, I think. Maybe at the end of the game or something. Because I'm just that curious about it. Alright, more lands. It's actually not terrible for us. Just because, we'd rather them be red, but I mean, we do have our Volcanic Geyser, which is a pretty good reach for us. So I guess our options are we could Essence Drain the Boar. I don't think that's the play, though. I think the play is just to play out the Furnace Whelp, and maybe we just kind of neglect the Exalted for a bit and just bash for, with our 2 flyers. He'll be a 4-2. He'll be swinging for 2 is 6, which is better than, you know, swinging for 3 with the Exalted. Alright. I want him to see... I just want to see him drop Nicol Bolas. Just because I think it would be funny. I mean, I'd rather see him drop it against somebody else, but... meh. I don't care that much. I don't want to be that guy. He can only play him one turn at a time anyways, so I think we're going to have him pretty well dead before he even gets there. I don't know. If I cracked the Nicol Bolas, I don't know what I would do. If I would pass it, or if I would try it, or if I would just rare draft it out. I'd probably pass it. I guess it would depend. What would you guys do? Tell me in the comments below. Or tell me in the forums at themtgnoob.com after you voted for me what you would do if you cracked a Nicol Bolas. Or if you have, in a draft or sealed, if you've played him. So he gives this dude volcanic strength, which, okay, it's fine. Like I said, I think that here we are... well, let's do some math. If we swing in for 3 here, and then we essence drain him, he'll go down to not enough. We have a volcanic geyser for 5 next turn. So I think the play here is I think we're just going to swing with a Nighthawk. And we should have done that a long time ago. And then I think... five... yeah, I think we're going to essence drain him. Put him to... again, we're leaving up our Tragic Slip mana. That's a joke. I know Tragic Slip's not in this set. I'm going to get a bunch of comments on the bottom. You're a dummy! Just kidding. You guys know I'm joking, right? Okay, so he's going to bash. I mean, I think he's only 1 land off from Nicol Bolas. I don't really remember his casting cost, if it's 2 red or 2 blue. Okay, that's fine. So he'll go back up to 11, and that changes things just a bit, honest. I don't know why he wouldn't swing there. That doesn't make any sense at all. But hey, we're not complaining. Okay, so the play here is we're going to swing with Furnace Whelp, pump them to 5. So he'll be bashing for 6, take Homeboy down to 5. Or maybe we only pump him twice and then play out Kranko's command just in case. Either way, we're going to swing here. We're going to pump it to at least 5. So 5, he goes to 6, and then we can geyser him for 6 next turn, unless he gains life somehow. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. Play out Kranko's command. We don't care at this point if he knows all of our dirty little secrets. I'm not sure why he hasn't been bashing with his Flinthoof Boar. He went to all the trouble to give it volcanic strength. So here, even if he does play Nicol Bolas, I think that we still have him. Because we can Volcanic Geyser for 6. He doesn't even have the mana. Here I am assuming he's got Nicol Bolas. That's how I roll. Alright, that's fine. Again, I wonder if he's just like giving up on this or what he's done here. I guess we can swing, huh? Cancel. What are we doing? Let me see. We'll just volcanic geyser. What the heck? Sure, we'll go with that. Alright. Awesome. We took down game one. Fairly soundly, I think. I'm not sure our opponent was on their A game, but we'll certainly take the pack in the win. So you guys, thanks for watching. This is Ben the Chad for the MTG Noob. Red-black aggro with some volcanic geyser. That seems pretty good. So vote for me over at themtgnoob.com. Check us out, Twitch TV, Facebook. Go to the website, subscribe to the YouTube page. All of that cool internety stuff. We're on it. We're doing it. So become a part of the community. We appreciate you guys watching, and thanks again. Alright guys, so our opponent in round 3 didn't show up, so we'll take a free pack. We went 2 and 3 in this draft, which is pretty sweet. So vote for the chat on the mtgnoob.com in the forums. Any tips or tricks or anything, go ahead and post them wherever is handy in the Facebook, in the YouTube comments below, or on the forums at the mtgnoob.com. Thanks for watching, you guys. Have a good one. Bye.